Well, hello everyone. Welcome back to East Vineland, New Jersey. We are here on Kubota Farm, and we are in May, and things are kicking off to a fast start here in May. So, a few things happened since we last, since we last got together. Right now, I am letting Courseplay take care of planting our new field, which is field 7, I think. Field 7. Now, let's show you something here real quick. So if we look at the way Courseplay has set this up, it's kind of annoying. And man, I went through all kinds of settings to try and keep Courseplay from doing this. I mean, it's not so bad when it gets further on, but these little short deals here, I kind of would rather see it do a different kind of course, but this is the way it kind of defaulted. Pretty much every setting I chose for Courseplay, it defaulted to this design, I guess you would say, course design, but I guess it could be worse. It's not so bad. I ended up, originally, I actually replanted this field in grass. And, you know, kind of was that, I did it because I wasn't getting the proper expected yield and yield potential on this field. And it was just weird. And I thought, well, let me replant it in grass and see if I get that. Because I thought maybe we'll just do another grass field. But then I thought, well, we don't have any grain crops planted. And we do need some grain, or we probably should do some grain crops. So I'm changing it to oats. It's really the only grain crop we can do in May. And then I came over to our first grass field over here. And I noticed that our expected yield and yield potential was also not showing up. So something kind of weird has happened over time where it knew it was grass, it knew the pH and nitrogen values, but it couldn't give me an expected yield or yield potential. And I think when we had the situation where the entire map went to decided to turn grass, I think that's when it made some weirdness happen on this grass field. So I replanted it, and replanting it has fixed that. So now we can see an actual expected yield and yield potential, which we're actually doing pretty good with. 123% yield, expected yield, which is pretty good. So we're going to put oats on our other field over there, which shouldn't take too long because of our nice new limpkin. Over here on our sugar beet field, we've got weeds. And I thought this was kind of interesting. I don't ever remember seeing this before, but I probably have never done what I did before, if that makes sense. You can see here with the weeds, it says partial, and it shows hoe. And over here, it shows weeds medium hoe. Well, it's showing partial here because I leased this weeder, which is pretty much our standard weeder that we always seem to lease. And I tried it on those medium weeds, and it took medium weeds down to partial weeds. Now, I didn't do a second run to see if it would take partial down to none, but I thought that was curious. I don't ever remember seeing medium weeds going to partial weeds. But regardless, on this sugar beet field, we are looking at small weeds that can be taken care of with a weeder. So we are going to, I think what we'll do is we'll kick off a hired helper. Make sure we're lined up okay here. And we can kick off a hired helper to take care of the rest of this sugar beet field. It shouldn't take very long for it to take care of all the weeds on here. Let's hop out real quick. And we can see our expected yield again is 123 and yield potential 125. I think that difference is rolling. And of course, we don't roll sugar beets typically, so it is what it is. And I can't remember too if this is the correct texture for sugar beets. I thought they looked a little more like potato texture. I could be wrong. But when you've got a mod like this, Limkin, where they've made it kind of a multi-fruit mod. They've added corn and sugar beets and that kind of stuff. Sometimes the textures can get a little funky on mods like this. So I'm not worried about the texture. I just thought it was a little bit curious. But let's go back and take a look at our hoe that I leased. I leased this bad boy. Figured that's what the field wants, to get rid of the weeds, so that's what we're going to give it. Horsepower range was well within, I think this our M7. So to me it was a good fit. It was not expensive to lease, and I think this will take care of our weed problem. At least it should take care of our weed problem. It definitely looks like it is. That's good. Let's run a headland here real quick. I hope you're all having a good start to your weekend. I decided to go ahead and record some work that I'm doing here on Kubota Farm for Saturday. I was tempted to head out to the old family farm, and I still may this weekend, and if I do, I will record, I'll record that as well. Maybe we can have a Sunday edition of Throwback Thursday, because I've got a craving to get back onto the old family farm. I've been kind of thinking about getting back on there, so maybe we'll throw something out there this weekend. But it's nice to be back on the weekend, that's for sure. It's nice to have the week done, if it was work for you or school or whatever it is. Always nice to have the weekend come around. Big football weekend, of course, this weekend. More playoffs, more playoffs. I don't know if you care about that kind of stuff. I think it's kind of fun, even if I don't have, you know, even if I don't particularly have a team that I'm super invested in. Playoffs are always exciting. These hoes are kind of interesting. Huh. I think the last hoe I used was, last time I used a hoe was on a potato field, if I remember right. Let's get this little oddball section over here done, and that way we don't have to worry about dealing with this little part. I could probably just do this number here, get this knocked out. I'm gonna probably kick a little hired helper off on this as well, because I want to show you something else that had me a little bit curious. It's hard when you run, like, I run quite a few mods. I don't know if I run more mods than average, or if I'm a reasonably average mod person. I've seen people run more mods than I do. And I guess it kind of depends on the type of mods. Like, I've seen people run more mods as far as game edition mods, and not so much tractor implement mods. I don't usually go too crazy on the game edition mods. I should say. It's like, I don't want my screen full of stuff, and I don't need a constant, you know, view of what my production facilities are doing and stuff like that. To me, it just kind of clutters up the screen, and I kind of like a little bit cleaner looking screen, but that's just me, you know, it's all personal preference. I know I've seen a couple of YouTubers who their screen looks like something straight out of NASA, where it looks like they've got more it looks like almost what's happening with the tractor and the implements or the combine is actually secondary to all of the information that's on the screen. That would drive me crazy personally, but I kind of just like a reasonably clean view. All right, let's get this guy turned around. Let's get this guy turned around, Brad. Get him lined up a little bit better than that. And I'm going to go ahead and let's just kick off hired helper. Take a quick peek at what it's showing here. 99% out of 100, so we're missing 1%. I would love to know where that 1%... I have to think it's rolling, because I don't know what else it could possibly be. One quick pit stop. All the grass. We've got 500, almost 560,000 liters of grass in our storage barn from field 7 that I mowed. And our production facility for fermenting is what, roughly 235,000 done, with another 380,000 remaining. So I mean, we've got what, let's say, we'll just say roughly 580, like we'll just say 600,000 liters of potential silage, plus the 560 that we have here, setting aside some for our sheep. We'll probably have about 1,000 liters of silage that we're going to be able to sell. We always make really good money from that. Then I was taking a look at our sunflower field, and I'm like, okay, well, we should be up there in our sunflower field. Here's some dead weeds that we sprayed. But look at our expected yield, 90%. That seemed really kind of low to me, and I can't figure out how we're missing 10%. Do we get dinged that much for having let the weeds grow and spraying them? Because I didn't think you got penalized that much for doing that. I thought even if they grew and you had to spray them, I didn't think you'd get penalized that much. I wish the game would allow you to break down your yield values. Like, I want to be able to see, out of 100%, you're getting 90%, and this is the breakdown. You've got your base crop, which maybe is like 80%, excuse me, and then you've got like X amount percent for fertilizing, X amount percent for having the proper pH. You know what I'm saying? Because it's impossible to tell. I mean, I can write off a little bit for rolling, I think. I don't think we rolled our sunflowers. So I think most of that has to be, for some reason, weeds, and I don't get that. Let's see here. Cultivated, blah, blah, blah. That's right, you don't see fertilizing stuff. Let's see here. So according to... I'm wondering if something goofy happened here when I was dealing with the slurry values and stuff, but I went over this whole combined field with solid fertilizer. So I don't know. I don't know what's going on and why we're dinged 10%. I mean, do I have to come back? I've never come back and removed dead weeds. You know, so I don't know what the deal is there. So it is what it is. I guess it could be worse. It could be a little bit better. I'd love to be able to maximize our yield potential a little bit better. We are up to 75 on our score. I have a feeling that next month this is going to drop down a little bit because of all the solid fertilizer I use over top of the slurry. It is what it is. Our sheep are doing what they do best, which is producing wool. And if I remember correctly, I don't think we have any clothes yet ready. Where do they pop out at? Where do the clothes? Let's see here. It's still working on fabric. It's got 1,000, almost 1,700 liters of clothing. I thought they popped out. Oh, there it is. Okay. So no pallets of clothes ready for us yet. And if we hop down to our spinnery, okay, so we do have a pallet of fabric that we need to take over to the tailor shop. Oh, you're done. Good for you. Good for you. So we're at 95%. It needs rolling, so that's a 1 or 2%. And then weeds, of course, we'll have to take care of. We might end up, since we've already got that other weeder leased, we could go right ahead and get this field weeded. It always seems weird to me to weed before you see any weeds. But it is what it is. It's what the game asks us to do, so it's what we're going to do. Let's get our planter parked as long as I hit that pole, which I'm probably going to do. All right, Brad, you can do a better job than that. Get this thing backed up in here. And dropped off. And let's hop out and let's just, ooh, probably could get this thing washed too. Let's go ahead and get maintenance done on it. And let's get our super soaker out and wash our cedar. Get it all cleaned up so none of those air hoses get clogged up the next time we need to use it. Step up here, step up here. Yeah. Okay. I like this cedar. Pretty sweet looking little limpkin, no doubt. How we looking at maintenance for you? Need an oil change? Needs an oil change. The only oil change you can do with the tractor running. And we'll get our M8 cleaned up a little bit here. And yes, I actually did run out of fuel for the first time here on Kubota Farm. It was not while I was recording. It was offline when I was messing around with that grass field. I always forget to fuel my tractors. It's just, I don't know what it is. I just always forget to fuel them for one reason or another. How did you do, by the way, Mr. Hired Helper? Did you get my ends good? Did you do my ends really good here? Where's weeds? Oh yeah, that's looking pretty good. All right, cool. All right, let's head back home with this weeder. And like I said, since we have this weeder leased, we might as well take advantage of it and get oh, you missed some corners there big time, didn't ya? Well, kind of tempted, but kind of don't care. It's one of those things where it's like, do I want to bother with it? Maybe not. Let's see what texture this weeder is going to give us on this field. Not going to change, are you? Scooch over a little bit there, Brad, so you're not missing the left-hand side. Yeah, that's super annoying that it doesn't change the texture at all. I mean, it honestly makes it impossible. So needs rolling, that'll probably change texture. Boy, and putting a hired helper to work on here would be, I think, a stinking disaster. Let's do this. Let's go into our course play. And let's generate a job. 2 headlands. I reckon that would work. I don't think we need 2, but we can stick with 2. We can start work on the headland. That's fine. Let's see. Sharp corners. We'll do round corners. That'll probably match what we did with the cedar. Yeah, I messed around with these settings quite a bit. I changed field center up and down. I did spiral, racetrack, lands. None of those things seem to change really the diagonal deal on this field. So I don't know. I don't know what the deal is with that. There we go. Now it's doing the up and downsies, but that's probably because this is a little bit larger implement. And there's our starting position. So let me back up. Which way is that arrow? I think this is the right way. All right, first waypoint. I'm just going to let Courseplay deal with the weeding because honestly, it's more of a hassle if you can't see what in the world you've done and what's done and what's not. Oh, and I don't remember Courseplay's course being on the mini-map. Maybe it has been there the whole time. I do like the timer now, 18 minutes, 45 seconds. If you can click on that, it's showing that you can click on that. I wonder what that does. Doesn't seem to change anything. I wonder if it refreshes it or recalculates that 18-minute mark. Interesting. This, I think I figured out, is just kind of the current track that it's on somehow or another, I think. Yeah, because you can see it kind of extending ahead of us there. So I think that's basically just to show the current track. And then, of course, you've got the entire course layout if you want. And none, and then start to finish. Yeah, I'm not going to worry about those corners too much. I mean, I'm thinking it would be nice, but at the same time, once you get a combine in here to harvest, dealing with corners like that can be kind of a headache. So, whoa, you did pretty good. I don't know why you quit on me for this last run here, but I guess I'll take what you got done, Mr. Hired Hand. We can always finish this off. Maybe lunch, maybe called lunch, or breakfast was called and was like, peace, I'm out of here. Finish it yourself, Mr. Farmer. So once we get all the weeding taken care of, which after this field, that leaves us with our field 7 and our oats. I think we will go ahead and pick up a roller. And we'll roll our oats, rolled oats. Wah, wah. Really make rolled oats. I think that kind of pretty much takes care of our sugar beet field for weeds. For weeds, sorry. Yes, and you can see down here all these weeds here, but these are all showing dead weeds would be my assumption. Or withered, more or less. I guess you would say withered since we sprayed them. Withered or dead. Maybe that does impact yield. I don't know. I don't know. Herbicide, fuel, vehicle maintenance. Man, they show a lot of information for this. They really do break it down quite a bit, don't they? So when we have to get to a point when we have to, I mean, look at that corn for, wait a minute. Does that make sense? What the yield for the corn does not look good. We're going to have to check that out. So when you have to repurchase, what I want to say, when you go to purchase the soil information again, I think what we decided was every sixth season or something like that. Does the soil information just go away. And then, so you'll know when you have to repurchase, because I don't know that I've done precision farming over 6 seasons or not. I guess we'll find out when the time comes. Oh, are you dragging? Yeah, you're dragging. I got you covered there, buddy. Let's go check our cornfield out here real quick, because according to precision farming, that yield looks horrible. Oh, they're just interesting. Expected yield 100% out of 100. So why in the world 100% is this color? Why are they red? Red-ish. I don't get it. Because according to these colors, I would say you're looking at more like, boy, maybe 60% to 70% yield? Makes me nervous. Let's come over here and look at these. Again, 100 out of 100. And pH is perfect and nitrogen is perfect. But yet the colors just don't add up to what we're seeing for yield. Or is that not showing current yield? Is that just showing what the yield potential is for the field period? That might be. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. Not that it, I mean, we're going to get what we get out of it. Can't really change anything, right? That's a lesson I learned way too late in life, you know? I spent my early years worrying about things that I honestly had no control over or ability to change. And at some point in my life, it finally dawned on me that I was wasting a lot of time worrying about things that I could not change. And boy, I'll tell you, talk about a liberating moment. At that point, you know, it was like, wow, okay, but move on. Can't change it, keep going. So for sunflowers, for a weeder on sunflowers, do you normally use a hoe? I'm assuming you do, since it's a kind of a row crop. I'm just going to take a quick peek at something before we send this. Before we send our hoe back. Before we get rid of our hoe. I don't know. Just, I don't know. It's childish, but still makes me laugh. Drop the hoe. Drop the hoe for Mo. And I'm wondering if it's doing anything with... Doesn't look like it's touching any of those withered. Yeah, it's not doing anything. Alright. Alright, Mr. Ho, you're going back to the store. We're done with you for now. At least I've got the right tires on here for driving over my crops, I guess. We're going to send you back, and I think we're going to lease a roller. We should probably just buy a roller. We never have bought a roller before yet, have we? We should probably just get it over with and buy one. Now that we have a little bit of money, I've kind of been hoping to find one in the sale store, you know. Get one kind of cheap. I think there was one in there a while ago that I passed on. Return. See you bye. Thanks for your assistance. Let's set a delivery point for our store. Let's take a quick peek at our sale items this month. I have not looked here yet. We don't need that. We don't need that. A front chisel. Guess we don't need that. Nice John Deere. Very nice John Deere, but we're not John Deere Farm. We're Kubota Farm. I do really like this trailer. I think this is from 82 Studios, isn't it? Lizard underbelly trailer. No, that's Mantrid. Okay. I think I tried this trailer a couple times, and occasionally you run into problems with these bottom dumps here. The triggers don't line up with your cell points very well. And I've run into that problem before, but I do quite like this trailer. Oh, man. That would be nice to pick up with a nice forage. Oh, man, that'd be so nice. Is this for square or round? That is a round baler. Boy, that would be nice too. We don't do so much with bales anymore, though. Oh, look at there. Should have waited till it went on sale. Oh, well. Not very expensive anyways. What are you? Okay. You're a little mulcher. All right. Got the old Silo King. We don't need that. We already own that. So I guess there's nothing really there for us in the sales market. Let's cruise down to rollers. Where are our rollers? I always pass up rollers. I have a hard time finding rollers. What can we do for our horsepower? 170 horse, 240 horse. So 7 to 9 meters. This is probably the way to go right here. How much is this? 25,000. We've leased this before, I remember too. And we did expand it out to 9 meters, if I remember right. We either did 9 or we did 8. I can't remember which one it was. Very simple, though. Erase tracks, I think we also had that on the one we leased. I don't know if it really does any good. How much do they add for erase tracks? $1,000. Smooth rollers, and you've got textured. Boy, that adds a chunk of change, doesn't it? We don't need textured rollers, at least not right away. I don't even think we need erase tracks, if I'm being honest with you. License plate? Might as well, right? Let's see here. RQS. Gaming. We can do back only. There we go. Oh, and the reason I did the tap, 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 tap real quick through here, and this applies for PC players, not console players, but if you don't, I have found, if you don't do that first, if you don't do this, I think it's too late for me to demo this, but it acts weird. The keyboard acts weird and will kick you out to a different license plate. At least that's what it's done to me in the past. So I always do the mouse thing real quick, and then the keyboard seems to work well. RQS gaming, back only. Should we buy it or lease it? Leasing's, man, we're going to lease it. It's just so cheap to lease, and we don't need to spend $25,000. I don't feel like we need to spend $25,000 for a... Is this M7 going to do it? We'll try it. We'll see if the M7 will pull this thing around. Okay, I think it probably will. If not, we can always bring the 8 over to take over. I'm assuming our seating is probably either done. Well, that was weird. Did the sound disappear on you as well in the recording? Because my sound just completely cut out. I'm sorry, I said seating, it's weeding. But when I was coming over here and I crossed the grass field, it's like the tractor noise. It sounded like the tractor noise and everything cut out. It might have just been my headphones. Very odd. All right, where are we at here? So we are weeding field 7. Of course, it doesn't show weeds yet because they haven't started growing. How far along are you, Mr. Weeder? Well, it would have been quicker to hop out and hop back in. 3 minutes and 3 seconds left. better get out and move our tractor though, because get into trouble there. Now I'm assuming with rolling it's going to change the texture. That was quite a delay in the unfolding. I think it'll, yeah, it's going to definitely change the texture. Well, that makes it easy. I guess it doesn't matter if we... Oh boy. Might gonna need the M8. Well, maybe a little bit of a hill, but what is the expected miles per hour on this? 9 miles an hour? Well, we'll keep her going, and then maybe when our M8's done doing the weeding over there, I'll tell you what, this thing could handle the weeding better. Should have flip-flopped them around, but no biggie. We'll keep going, and maybe I'll swap the M8 out for the roller. So yeah, I would say besides football this weekend, oh, and I just reminded myself I probably have laundry to do. That's always lovely. Laundry's one of those things that I find no pleasure. I find no pleasure in doing whatsoever. And I try to extend my laundry out, and it's probably not good, but I mean, but when it comes to, you know, the undergarments, so to speak, make those make those last a little longer between washing than they probably should. Oh boy, wow. And it's always easier to buy more socks and underwear than it is to do laundry more often, right? Am I right on that one? You're missing some over there, Brad. Not a big deal, not too bad, but you try to keep her. Try to keep her over there. Out of curiosity, expected yield 97% out of 100. No weeds, and we've rolled. So we are missing 3% yield. And I absolutely have no idea why. Unless wasn't field 7 a lower yield field when we bought it? I seem to remember when we were looking at buying farmland, this field here shows 114. And I think, yeah, Brad, you're figuring it out. That's the max we can get anyways. I'm assuming that's the max you can get. But it shows yield potential 100%. Come on, Giants. Stop just throwing numbers at us like that. The yield potential for this field can't be 100%. Not with this soil type. I mean, I think I've got that right. I think... I mean, otherwise, what's the point of having the yield potential when you're looking around to buy a field using the soil map information? I don't know. I don't get it. Or is the 100% 100% of 97%, and we're only going to expect 97% of 97%? I don't know. I don't think that's right, though. Because there's nothing else we can do for this field. pH is perfect. Nitrogen's perfect. We're rolling. And we've weeded. That's it. Unless they want me to bring down magic unicorn dust and have, you know, maybe a herd of unicorns come over to the field and just, you know, maybe spray their magic unicorn dust. There's nothing else I can think of that would bring out more yield out of this field. I love you, Giants, but sometimes maybe they make it confusing on purpose so you feel the pain that farmers, that real life farmers often feel, you know? Like, hey, you think you've got it bad in game? Try and be a real farmer. See how you feel about trying to figure out yields and stuff like that. Good luck with that, right? Well, I think we're kind of wasting a little bit of time, so what I'm going to do thank you, is we're going to go ahead and do a swap. And we'll get the M8 going on this roller. And I think it's about time for me to also say goodbye for our Saturday morning Kubota farm episode. I really appreciate y'all joining me. I hope you enjoyed the episode. Leave a like if you did. I'd really appreciate it, and definitely subscribe if you want to. That's also well appreciated. Love to have you along for the ride. I think we're making some good progress. We're going to kick through May here, and pretty soon it's going to be poplar harvest, and this will be our last poplar harvest, because I'm just not looking forward to it anymore. So we're going to do one more poplar. This will be the last one, and then we're going to turn that field into something else, but not poplar. And I also have another idea that we will go over next time, and it has something to do with this field right here. I want to buy this field. I don't need you. I want to buy this little field right here. And I got plans for it. But I'm going to hold off, and I'll tell you next time we see each other. And I don't think you're going to be able to convince me otherwise. I think I'm going to go for it. And it's not going to be super cheap, but I think it'll look nice and be something a little bit different for our farm too. So, all right, everyone. If I get into Old Family Farm, I'll record that. Maybe we'll see some Old Family Farm Sunday. If not, maybe we'll be back in here on Kubota Farm and see what else is going on here. Hopefully I'll see you again this weekend, though. Just stay tuned. Take care. Be safe this weekend. Take care of yourselves. Take care of each other. And I'll see you soon. Bye for now.